Om.
Om Apyayantu mamangani Vak pranaschakshu Shrotramatho balamindriyani cha sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakaro Anirakaranamastvanirakaranam me astu Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharma ste mai santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Read Ahono Chitram Padmothai.
Ahono Chitram Padmothaihi Baddhastantu Bhiradrayaha Avidyamanaya Vidya Taya Vishwam Khidikrutam
Idam Tadrajat Vajratam Yatam. One line.
Idam tad vajratam yatam trunamatram jagatrayam.
So it is a great wonder that we have done Ahono Chitram Yat Satyam Brahma, no?
Yes, yes.
So it's a great wonder that Satya Brahma, without which we can't exist, we can't function, is not known, it is totally forgotten. And this Karyeshu Tishtataha Tava Raganurjana Mastu. So it should be set right. And for in the case of, or in the context of few activities which are necessary for the upkeep of the body, one should not have raga, asakti, priti in that. In this case, to highlight what is actually happening, an illustration is given. Aho, no chitram. Oh, great wonder this is. What is it? Padmothaihi tantubhihi adrayaha baddhaha. Padmothai Ahono Chitram. Oh, it is a great wonder. What is that? Padmothaihi tantubhi. By the rope made from the stalks of lotus plants. Tantu. Tantu, that is by the ropes made from stalks of lotus plant. What is done? Adrayaha baddhaha. Mountains are tied up. You say, mountains being tied up by the rope made of stalks of lotus plant is a great wonder, is it? In the same manner, here it is, reading it. Avidyamana ya avidya taya vishwam khilikritam. Ya avidyamana avidya taya vishwam khilikritam. Avidya which truly doesn't exist, because an ever existent entity can never be destroyed. Avidya may be beginningless, anadi, yet it has got end. Therefore, this avidya, which is false in nature, truly not there. But taya, by that avidya, which is truly non-existent, vishwam, this vividha rupatmaka jagat, the jagat of manifold varieties, khilikritam, completely vanquished, totally devastated. As a result, idam tat trunamatram jagatrayam vajratam yatam. As a result, this jagat, and what is the nature of jagat? Trunamatram. Truna means grass. Trunamatram means trunavatucham. A blade of grass is totally insignificant. Even that is what such a jagat is totally insignificant, like a blade of grass, because truly it doesn't exist at all. But what is this? Avidya does. Vajratam yatam has been made firm, strong, like a diamond, by giving a notion that the Jagat is real. Truly speaking, Jagat has no real existence at all. So with this, the 4th chapter of Mahopanisad is over. Now the 5th chapter of Mahopanisad. This chapter describes the 7 stages of Ajnana regarding Atma, ignorance regarding Atma, and the Atma Jnana, knowledge of Atma. In many other Upanishads, 7 Jnana Bhumikas, 7 stages of knowledge are described. This is a special feature of this. The special feature of this Mahopanisad, that 7 stages of ignorance also are described. Continue.
Rubuhu atha param pravakshami shrunutata yatha yatham ajnana bhuk saptapada yabhuk saptapadaivahi.
Tata atha aparam pravakshami yatha tatham shruno ajnana Ajnana bhuhu saptapada. Nyabhuhu saptapada evahi. In chapter 4, earlier chapter, verse 122, it was told, Naham Brahma iti sankalpanam ajnanam. Consideration that I am not Brahma, this is ajnana. Sarvam Brahma iti sankalpanam jnanam. Everything else, everything is nothing but Brahma. This consideration is ajnana. In this context, 7 stages of ajnana, 7 stages of jnana are being described now. Tata, Rubu, addressing Ridaga, Osani, oh dear. Atha, now. No, I think in the Rubu is there. Take it. Atha, aparam pravakshami. I'm going to say something more to you. Additional thing I'm going to give you now. What is that? And how? Yatha tatham shunu. Yatha tatham, properly or degree by degree. Please listen now. What is that? Ajnana bhuhu saptapada. The stage of ignorance is sevenfold. 7 steps means sevenfold. Or state of ignorance is sevenfold. It has got 7 stages. Whereas Nyabhuhu saptapada eva. Nyabhuhu, state of knowledge, is also saptapada. It has got 7 steps. It is sevenfold. It has 7 stages. He is well known in the Shastras. Continue.
पदान्तराण्य संख्यानि प्रभवन्त्यन्यथैतयोः स्वरूपावस्थितिर्मुक्तिः तद्भ्रंशोऽहं त्ववेदनम्.
Anyatha prabhavanti anyatha etayoho sandhi. Anyatha etayoho asankhyani padantarani prabhavanti. Swarupavasthitihi muktihi. Tad bhraushaha aham tva vedanam. Seven stages of ignorance and 7 stages of knowledge. But among them, there are innumerable secondary stages. Here only main 7 stages are given, but there can be any number of secondary stages among them. Anyatha, from other standpoint, etayoho, of these both 7 stages, asankhyani padantarani prabhavanti. There are prabhavanti, are born, or are there. How many? Padantarani. Padantarani means in between stages, secondary stages, in between stages. How many are there? Asankhyani. innumerable. They are there. In this context, what is the nature of moksha and what is the nature of bondage is being described. Swarupavasthitihi mukti. Swarupe avasthitihi. Abidance in the Atma Swarupa, one's true real nature, is moksha. Whose abidance? Abidance of the mind. Is it not so that mind is in what? Atma only. Entire Jagat is adhyastha, superimposed on Atma, Brahma. Mind, which is also part of creation, is superimposed on that. It is in that. Not that way. In terms of preoccupation of the mind. From that standpoint, presently our mind is preoccupied in the Vishayas, Drishya Jagat. It takes the form of Vishayas, Drishya Jagat. Instead of that, it has to conform to Atma Swarupa. It should appear just like Atma Swarupa. That is what is called as abidance of the mind in Atma Swarupa or Swarupavasthitihi. That is mukti. What is bondage? Tad bhraushaha. Tad bhraushaha. That is tad means Swarupa. Fall from one's true nature. Fall from one's true nature. And what is it actually? That is bandha, but it is characterized by its main feature. What is it? Aham tva vedanam. Aham tva vedanam. Taking the body as I. You have to take it this way. This is ajnana phala bandha. Moksha is abidance of the mind in Atma Swarupa. Bondage is identification with the body at its practical level. Once you identify with the body, samsara starts. No identification, no samsara, as in the sleep. In sleep, temporarily, samsara is in stay order. Why stay order? Because ignorance is still there. And that ignorance, because of the prarabdha samskaras, will throw you out in the waking or the dream after a certain time, when the sleep prarabdha gets over. It is not the final solution, but it shows ourselves free from samsara also. That's why mere ignorance is not a problem, but the consequent misapprehension is the problem. If you don't know a rope as a rope, no problem. But the problem arises when you mistake it as a snake. We don't know Sarupa in sleep, no problem. Everybody would like to sleep. But when we identify the gross body in the waking, subtle body in mind in the dream, all hell breaks. That is how Vedana. The question comes, you are telling that Swarupat Bhramsha, deviating from our Swarupa, fall from the Swarupa is bondage. But we find in among the Brahmajnanis also, at times, Raga, Dveshas are there, likes, dislikes are there. Certainly they are deviating from their Swarupa. Is it not a fall? No. If at all Raga, Dvesha, etc. are found in the Jnani, they are not born of ignorance. They are like this. Read.
Shuddha Sanmatra Samvittehe Swarupanna Chalantiye Raga Dveshadayo Bhavaha Tesham Nadyatva Sambhavaha.
Ye Shuddha Sanmatra Samvitte Swarupat na chalanti Tesham Raga Dveshadayaha Bhavaha Adnyatva Sambhavaha. So long as their mind is not deviating from Sarupa, even if there appear to be seeming Raga Dvesha, they are not born of ignorance at all. Tesham Jnaninam, in the case of Jnani, such Bhavaha, attitudes. What type of attitudes? Raga Dveshadayaha. Raga Dvesha, likes and dislikes. Raga Dveshadayaha Bhavaha, attitudes. Adnyatva Sampadaha. Before that, first line we take. Ye, those jnanis, Shuddha Sanmatra Samvitte Sarupat na chalanti. Those jnanis who na chalanti, do not swerve from their vision. The Atma Sarupa is never gets ended. So ye, from where? Shuddha Sanmatra Samvitte Sarupa. From their Swarupa, real nature, which is mere pure Chaitanya and Chaitanya alone. Na chalanti, na swar. In their vision, Chinmatra alone is there. Tesham, in the case of such jnanis. Raga Dveshadayaha Bhavaha. Bhavaha, attitudes in the form of Raga, Dvesha, likes and dislikes, etc. Adnyatva Sambhavaha are not born of ignorance. Because these bhavas, attitudes, in the case of such jnanis, appear to be there. They are not binding to them. They don't bind them. Whereas in the case of ignorant person, this is their lot. Continue.
Yah Swarupa Paribhramshaha Chetvarthe Chitimajjanam Etasmada Paro Moha Na Bhuto Na Bhavishyati.
Yaha Swarupa परिभ्रंशः चैत्यार्थे चितिमज्जनम ऐड भवति एतस्माद् अपरः मोहः न भूतः न भविष्यति. यह, what is the यह? स्वरूप परिभ्रंशः, deviation from one's swarupa, from chinmatra swarupa, parishuddha chinmatra swarupa, deviation from this. भंशः चैत्यार्थे चितिमज्जनम भवति, happens to be चितिमज्जनम, चितेः majjanam, sinking of chaitanya for what? Chaityarthe. Chaityarthe means for the sake of vishayas or in their vasanas. Those who chiti, in the sense attention, is totally drowned in the sense objects. It says, etasmad aparaha moha. Moha is delusion, error or ignorance. More than this, etasmad aparaha. Anything other than this, there is nothing called error, or delusion or ajnana. Na bhutaha, na bhavishyati. There was no greater error than this. There will not be ever a greater error than this. Means making the mind totally engrossed in the Vishayas to the total neglect of one's Swarupa, Chinmatra, is the error, is delusion, itself is ajnana only. Now the question comes, what is the Swarupa Siddhi? You are telling us Chinmatra is our Swarupa. And Ajnani's mind is totally engrossed in Vishayas. But suppose this Ajnani wants to find out the Chinmatra, where can he investigate? Where can he find, even for a while? Very good. Suppose we come to know, good or bad? Very good. We can find out the Chinmatra there only. And once found, continue to be there. Provided your pull toward the Vishyas are not strong. Says, here where we can find out our Swarupa Siddhi. Somewhere just intercept. But where to intercept? Let us see. Continue.
अर्थादर्थान्तरं चित्ते याति मध्ये तु या स्थितिः साध्वस्तमननाकाराः स्वरूपस्थितिरुच्यते.
What is the nature of Chitti? Swarupa. Swarupa Sthiti. This is what it is. Chitte arthad antantaram yati. Pathantara is there. Chittaihi ya atra is there. Let's take chitte only. Chitte arthad arthantaram yati. Perhaps yati can be better. We don't know. Some gadbad is there. It is like this. When the mind, chittam, what does it do? Arthat arthantaram yati. From one Vishaya sense object, it leaves, it goes towards another sense object. Arthat, one Vishaya. Arthantaram, Vishayantaram, to another Vishaya, sense object. Yati, when it goes. Madhye, yatu madhye siti. Whatever state of antakarana is there in between the mind going from a given object to another object, intercept there. Says Dhvastam mananakara sa swarupasiti uchyate. That state, what type of state it is? Dhvasta mananakara, wherein the form of mind is no more there. Manana is always thinking in terms of antakarana vrittis. In this interception, in this state of one Vishaya thinking is over, next is going to start, but in between maybe an infinitesimal gap. But there is a gap. Why? One Vishayakara vritti ended, other Vishayakara is yet to start. It may be very, 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 very minute time gap. Microsecond maybe. But there is a gap. And in that gap, mind is not functioning. Because so long as vrittis are there, mentation is there, mind functions. No vrittis, not in sleep. No vrittis, no function of the mind. It is called manonasha. See, non-functioning of the mind is manonasha. Mind is there, it's samskara form, but now not functioning. So that is what it is said. Dhvasta mananakara. Mananakara state of mind is what? Dhvasta, destroyed. Means it is not functioning at that time. Says that is what is called as swarupa sthiti uchyate. That is what is called as what? Swarupa sthiti. Abidance in one swarupa. Now, with our Vishaya Sakti, the mind is so intensely preoccupied in the Vishayas. There is no room for such interception practically. Theoretically, yes. Practically, because the effervescence of Vishayakara vrittis is so fast. Why? Because the mind tries to seek some happiness from the Vishaya. A person who has developed vairagya, who is totally convinced that the Vishayas, sense objects in the world, cannot give me happiness. He is not interested in them. No interest means what? Mind doesn't run after Vishayas. Mind when is without Vishayakara. That state is what? Swarupa Siddhi. Elsewhere we are saying the mind has to be nirvikalpa. Nirvikalpa means what? Nirvishesha, free from features, which can be only nirvishaya. Vidhi Vishayas means Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha Visheshas come. If Vishayas are not there, these Vishesha are not there, Nirvishesha. Mind is in its native state of being free from Vishayakara vrittis. Such a mind abides in Swarupa. That is the Swarupa Siddhi. Tell me now, how far you are from your Swarupa? You have to go to Kailas Manas Sarovar Yatra? Or what? Kashi, Ayodhya, Prayag Yatra? Rameshwaram Yatra? Where you have to go? Swarupa Siddhi. So, Tukaram Maharaj was said somewhere. He said, this idols, etc. are clothes. See, you want Bhagavan. Take to your Swarupa immediate cash down payment. If you are able to strike this, you discover Paramananda Swarupa. Immediate cash down payment. There are some punya, etc., 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 and afterwards. This is very clear. See, but we are not at all able to do that. Why? Vishaya Sakti, Vishaya Priti, that wrong notion that sense objects have the capacity to give me the pleasure. So we are so much steeped in, drowned in sense pleasure, we are not able to achieve this interception. See, when you are not asleep and yet when you are not aware of Vishayas, whatever you experience, that is Paramananda, Atmananda, Brahmananda. You are not asleep, nor you are aware of Vishayas, as in the case of dream and the waking. Antakarna is in such a state, Dhvasta Mananakara. What you experience is Atmananda, Paramananda, Brahmananda. Who has got the key now? We have the key. We should know which side to turn the key called mind. Turn to Vishayas, Baddha. Turn to Atmas, Mukta. Swarupa Sthiti. Therefore, at least now onwards, get convinced about the indispensability of Vairagya. Not that Shastra wants to deprive you from a little paltry happiness that you can command or you can get. No, sir. You are paying enormous price for this paltry sense pleasure. You are throwing to winds your Paramananda Swarupa, running after this little crumbs of joys here and there. You know that saying, Pinda Butsruja Karam Lady. A fresh ball of butter was given for him to eat. This idiot throws in the mud and starts licking the palm. How wise is it? Like that. We throw these Paramananda Swarupa powers and start licking some sense pleasure here and there. So Bhrigu has pointed out where we can claim our Swarupa Siddhi. Same state is further explained. That is there. Now one may say, when there is possibility of further mentation, one vritti has ended, other vritti yet to start. How do you say Swarup Siddhi is in between? For which the answer is being given. Continue.
संशांत सर्व संकल्पाः या शीलावदवस्थितिः जाग्रन्निद्रा विनिर्मुक्ताः सा स्वरूपस्थितिः परा.
Vinirmukta, not vinirmuktaha. Vinirmukta sa. Ya samshanta sarva sankalpa. Shilavad avasthitihi. Jagran nidra vinirmukta. Sa para swarupa sthitihi. Whatever such state. What is the nature of that state? Of course. How many states of consciousness we have got? Mainly 3 states of consciousness. Waking, dream, and deep sleep state. But among them, innumerable states of consciousness are. Take waking. Moment by moment, what we are aware of differs. Moment by moment, what is experience, we know differs. So all are different states only. But mainly because of identification, the gross, subtle, and causal body, 3 states of consciousness are given. Now he says, yeah, whatever such state, what is it? Samshanta sarva sankalpa. The state wherein all sankalpas means thoughts or desires or what is called as Vishaya Smarana, remembrance of sense objects. Samshanta, totally quietened. Mind has become totally quiet without any thought, without any desire, without any Vishaya Smarana, thinking of sense object. And such state is a state of changelessness, homogeneous state, like what illustration is given. Shilavad avasthiti. Imagine a huge rock is a dense mass of stone, changeless. In and through, it is a dense mass of rock, stone. So changeless is a state of mind, free from thoughts or free from desires, free from thinking of sense object Vishaya Smarana. And such state should necessarily be Jagrat Nidra Vinirmukta. It should be totally free from Jagrat Nidra. The Jagrat stands for not only waking but dream, in both of which is what is called as Anyatha, that is Smarana. What is called as misapprehension. What is other? Anyatha Grahanam. Mistaking an entity to be other than what it is. In sleep, mere agrahanam, non-apprehension. Whereas in waking and the dream, there is anyathagrahana, misapprehension, which is clubbed as one. Gaudapada Acharya calls it dream. He doesn't take Jagrat separately. Dream because anyathagrahana and sleep. That same Jagrat, dream also is word here, Jagrat is. You are awake to the sense objects. So that state is free from waking, dream, and this state. Sa para swarupa sthitihi. That is the highest state of abidance in one swarupa. This is where comes the nirvikalpa state of mind, nirvishesha state of mind. In English, we simply say composed mind, and we just run away. But what is meant by that composed mind? What is meant by the quiet mind? It is like this: free from waking, free from dream, free from sleep, which is nirvikalpa, bheda rahita, vishaya vishesha rahita, attributeless. This is where Chaitanya Swarupa Atma gets revealed, gets exhibited in its true nature. In its true nature. Parasri. Same thing is further described. Continue.
अहंतांशेक्षते शांते भेद निष्पन्द चित्तता अजडाया प्रचलति तत्स्वरूपमितीरितम्
अहंतांशेक्षते भेद निष्पन्द चित्तता शांति या ajada chit prachakati tat swarupam iti iritam. When this has happened, aham ahantavashe kshati. Ahantavasha, this ahankara, this aspect of ahankara, erroneous notion of I-ness in the body, embodiment. What has happened? Kshate, nashte, kshine, he has ended. Means no identification with the body. As a result, Bheda Nishpanda Chittata Shanti. The Nishpanda. Nishpanda can mean motionlessness, but also it also means multitude or samoha. The multitude of duality, Bheda. Shanti is totally quiet. See, for any perception, for any cognition of duality, Bheda, first and foremost thing is identification with the body. Without identity with the body, no vyavahara with the Jagat is ever possible. That is why in sleep you have no vyavahara with the Jagat, including your body. First, identification the body is necessary. So that is why, see, when we indulge in sense pleasure, first, what is indispensable? Body is I. And so long as you have the notion that the body is I, your mind is not in a position to know the Swarupa Chaitanya, free from all thoughts. So therefore, any function or anything that intensifies or makes firm our notion that the body is I has to be discarded by all means. Like in diet for the patients, what is called as restricted diet, apatya. Food not to be consumed. If you want to discover Swarupa, don't take to any measures which confirms your notion that the body is I. In this respect now, think of Vishaya Bhoga. Vishaya Bhoga first presupposes identity with the body. And therefore, by more and more Vishaya Bhogas, what happens? Identity of the body gets more and more confirmed. That is why Vairagya is necessary. And among all, because why? If you want this self-pleasure, order this all sorrows which are attending the body. morning we see. So even one desire to eat ice cream, first body must be there. Not mere body, identity with the body. And then all hosts of problems start. Among all sense pleasures, the most fascinating is one for which everyone falls, is marital happiness. That is the one which gives the maximum happiness among all Vishaya Bhogas. And there this Jiva is caught. Difficult to get over. Not just this life. From Anadi Kala. It makes the body addiction more and more deep rooted. So that is why staunch Viveka Vairagya is necessary to avoid this that is, what is that? Diet which is not conducive, and take to restricted diet. To observe what is called as pathya. Take only permitted diet. So we have to withdraw from Vishaya Bhoga. Vishaya Bhoga and Atma Jnana Moksha cannot go together, because one expects or needs identifying the body, other is not possible in the presence of identifying the body. So therefore it says, aham tau shikshate. When the notion of ahankara is destroyed and the multitudes of cognition of duality or Vishaya Vrittis or Vishaya Smarana, Shanti, when totally ended, Ya Ajada Chit, such a state of mind, whatever Chit Chaitanya, which is Ajada, means what? Sachetana, sentient, Rachakati, shines, is revealed, is experienced. Tat Swarupam iti iritam. That is said to be our Swarupa. Some people say, see, we have got Anubhava, experience of Atma 24/7. We don't need separate Atma Anubhava. True, 24/7 we have experienced Atma with there, but not true to its nature. It is sopadhika with the features of upadhi. Here is nirupadhika Atma, free from the features of upadhi. Without being aware of this, we will not be able to know this is our Swarup. Again, don't point out here. Oh, even see, all that you put in different words, what you mean is Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And in Nirvikalpa Samadhi also some trace of Upadhi is there. Yes. That is the level up to which you can go, sir. At least have that. Baad mein dekhenge. If you have that, you are aware of what your Swarupa is. That is Jnana, that is Moksha. When Videya Mukti is there, even that last trace will drop. Till then, so long as your body is there, and you want to have the Jivan Mukti state, this is the only level up to which you can go. It's some subtle samskaras of Antakaran. The state of mind which is Nirvikalpa. Nirvita Samadhi one. That is what? This is what Swarupa Siddhi. One can gain the Swarup. That is one Swarup. Now he proceeds to describe the 7 states of ignorance. Will continue.
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ